Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Very excited to share with you my Nucanoe Unlimited 12. This is a 2024 boat and we're gonna go through my build and how it fits my needs. We're gonna start from the bow. The bow has a couple of things that are very cool, very interesting. It has an access plate. The access plate will allow you to connect wires or at least make holes to put your wiring through without having to cut through the hole. So that's very good. They're gonna be spread around the boat, but the bow one is probably one of the most important based on the fact that it will connect with your gear pod if you want. So less cables moving around your boat and close to each other, which is great. You also have two tip holders. So what this is going to allow you is to put your rods if you want for security, right? I don't use them personally. My gear pod, it kind of stands in the way. You can still use them, but it's not something that I would use in the future. Additionally, on the bow, you're going to find your access point for your Nucanoe gear pod. There's two ways you can use this. You can use it without the pod, which is going to give you a lot of leg space, or you can use it with the gear pod. In my case, I wanted the gear pod because I run a lot of gear and then I want to run my graph up front in the bow, and it's a much needed watertight accessory. I think it's $200 for the pod itself, but it's very well built, very robust. It will handle bumps and bruises. The plastic is thick, not easy to pierce through, which is great. And additionally, one thing that I like about the pod is that it's actually watertight. So we go here, we take a look at the lid. You're going to see that it's watertight all around, which means water is not going to come in. As you can see, I do have some condensation here. That's because I took a lot of water yesterday, but the pod itself is clean. There's nothing to it. As you can see, the storage space is great. So it has a lot of storage space. Right now I have my battery here. I have my Noqua 10 amp hour, which is going to run my Garmin 93 SV. I got some tools here. I got my tools, pens, whistles, security mesh. Everything that I need for the kayak is here on this corner of the pod, which gives you the rest as open space. You can use that for snacks. You can use it for tackle, etc. Right now, I only have a couple of things because I cleaned out the kayak this morning. Also, the pod has a T-track system. The cool thing about this T-track system, and you'll see it here in a second, is that you can actually, if you have your Jack Attack quick disconnects, you can put everything you want here. For example, here's my 93 SV. If I wanted to run it here instead, I could do that, right? Which is great. Now, let's say that I finished my day and I had my graph here. I want to disconnect my cables. I can actually go ahead. I can disconnect the pod and I can take it with me. So if I needed to take the pod with me out of the kayak, I can do that without any problems. Now, there's another cool thing about the pod. Let's say you don't have your graph here. Let's say, and you just want to carry it. In this case, you're going to see a lot of noise moving, but let's say if I wanted to carry it this way, they actually build a handle for you to carry the pod without any issues, right? Which is great. It's lightweight. It has a battery right now and it has tools, and it's really not that big of a deal to get it out of the pod or carry it. So we're done with the pod. Now let's go to the center console of the kayak. There's a couple of things happening here also. And you can see that the boat itself is simple, right? It doesn't really have, it's really an open canvas. And I made it to the way I want, or I outfitted it the way I want it to, which still leaves me with a lot of space on the center console, which is the most important thing for me. After fishing for so long, I realized that I really wanted space, right? And that has been key and what makes me very happy about this boat. But let's go over the things that we have in the console. In the center console, we are going to have our Garmin 93 SV. This is going to be our side view. It's going to be our down scope, and it's going to have our live maps, which is great. GPS unit. It's connected to the gear pod, as you saw, and I run it with a Noqua 10 amp hour battery. So I run my unit with a Noqua 10 amp battery. A couple of reasons. It's waterproof. It's small, compact. It will last. It's a 10 amp hour, but it lasts a long time. It will run my unit through the day without no problem. It's well made and it's owned by a company that does a very good job when it comes to customer service. So I will always support that. Uh, we're done with the graph. We're done with the powering of the graph. What else is happening in the center console? Well, we're going to have our EPS system. So we're going to talk about our EPS system here in a minute. Don't worry. But EPS system will be in the left side. I have all the T-tracks to each side, which will allow me to install whatever I want. For the time being, they're clean. I don't want too much stuff here. I did add a Jack Attack rotor grip to hold my net. And then I have a Jack Attack. This is more of a cleat, and that's used really when I have an anchor or I want to put a rope and get to a dock. That's what I will use. Another thing that's cool about the center console is you have these two storages to each side. Right now, I'm going to be using one to hold all my cables for the Garmin 93SV. That will eventually change because I'm running my wiring through the hole. But they are great if you want to put stuff. If you want to put your phone here, not suggested, but you can see the space that's built into that pocket. It's actually very deep, so nothing gets out of it unless you flip, which is not going to happen on this boat, and I'll show you why. You'll see that you have your padding. The padding or the seat mat or the seat deck will be included in your purchase. So the 2024 model will have the seat deck from your chair up to the bow, which is great. This will allow you to be quieter, less impact, less noise on the water. That's awesome. You're also gonna see your transducer hole here. Now, I did go ahead and install the Nucanoe transducer mount. This is a retractable mount, so what happens is you can pull it and your transducer will go up. You can pull it down, or you can let it go and it will push down out of cover, which is great. So let's say you're running into shallow areas, you pull it up, and then you're gonna be ready to go. There is a cleat that goes here that I don't have with me that will hold that tight to ensure that it doesn't drop. That's not the case for me right now. Now we're still in the center of the boat, but this is a very, very important component of the boat, and I think it's really what makes it shine more than anything. It's gonna be the chair. The chair is the 360 fusion seat, which is awesome. So 360 fusion seat means that you can move around with it. That's great. It means you can actually fish facing each way. Love it. That's awesome. You have your kayak cushion. Tried it for the first time yesterday. The best thing. I have sciatica on my left side of the leg, and it really sucks. And this really helped me out to not feel uncomfortable after 8 hours on the water. There's a couple more things that are important when it comes to the chair, and it's the fact that you actually have access points. You have access points that will allow you to install items or accessories on the actual chair. I'll show you what I'm running. I'm actually running the Nucanoe tray, right? So this is the Nucanoe Fusion tray, and it will allow you to put your trolling motor mounts here. It's included as part of the EPS kit. So let's say you buy the EPS, it will include one tray and it will include your mount for the motor, which is awesome. You still have a track here. So let me show you. This is very cool. I want to show you the concept of it. So the actual tray has a track, and that track is awesome because you can actually do whatever you want with it, right? It gives you limitless possibilities. So here I usually do my Jack Attack phone grip, and I will always have my motor mount here. And the reason being that my motor mount will always be here without any question is the fact that when you're turning your chair, and I think this is the thing that I like the most, if I had to choose one thing about the boat, it's this right here. So as I turn, I can still control my motor without any issues, and with my right leg, let's say I'm in this side, I can still control my EPS system. So that means I'm going to be able to control at low speeds while I fish the edge of the water column, which is awesome. You also have two indents that are going to allow you to put your pliers here. You have space for your hooks or lures. And the coolest thing is really you have some magnets here that are going to allow you to put your lures. I use the GoPro. This is really kind of the GoPro tether system, so they don't fall off wherever you have them. This holds them very well, and it's awesome. Going down or below the chair, what's really important is the amount of space that you have Right now I'm fitting a 26-inch catch board that is tied to my tray. This is gonna go here. Whenever I submit a fish, I'm gonna put it right here. This will fit, I'm pretty sure it will fit a 32-inch in the wider side of the boat. So right now I'm running the 26-inch, and you can see how well it fits. I can push it forward, take my picture, my legs are gonna be here, and I have no problem with it, which is awesome. Also, you're gonna have 2 access points next to your chair. Both of them are gonna be on each side. The one thing about the 2024 model is that it has the new access panels, which means that you're not gonna have warping. It's a thicker plastic, and it has a rubber component on the side to avoid water from coming in. We're almost done with the boat. We're now going to the stern part. Hey, please remember to leave a comment. What do you like from my kayak? What you don't like? What would you like to see me add? Please give me all the feedback. I really, really enjoy having a conversation with you through social media, guys. So we're in the stern of the boat. This is where a lot of the magic happens, and I'll tell you why. This is a very important and essential part of the kayak. First of all, I'm running a Nucanoe 20 amp hour battery. This is gonna power my GoPro, and what I'm using here is the new USB-C Connect system. So Nucanoe just released their USB Connect system, which is gonna allow you to, on any of your Pro batteries, it's gonna allow you to actually add USB-C ports into the battery. Now, what's cool though is you can actually, it's multi-use, right? So you can actually go ahead, you'll see here, I have a Nucanoe 2.2 amp hour that's attached to my chair. It's attached to my chair via a strip that they sent when you buy the battery. So it will stay there without movement. And so the good thing about this tool, the USB-C adapter, is that it's gonna be multi-use. I had it on my 20 amp hour Pro battery. Now I'm gonna add it, or I'm gonna put it on my 2.2 torpedo battery. So let's say I have my phone on the chair or next to me, and I wanted to charge that battery. All I got to do is change the connect to that 2.2 battery, connect it to my phone, and we're gonna be charging while we are on the water, which is great. I am gonna go ahead and pick a couple of these. I have 3 batteries from Nucanoe, so I think it's important to have it on each of them because it's really useful. Very cool. One of the things you're gonna see me use 100% of the time on any kayak that I'm on is gonna be the black packs by Jack Attack. So right now, as you guys know, I run a 16 by 16 with a short stack. That changed. Now I'm running a 13 by 16 with 6 rod holders, and this is gonna allow me to have the space that I want. I don't wanna be too tight. I don't wanna have a box that's, you know, not capable of moving because I do have wires running around. And then it's still gonna give me a ton of space. So this is messy, as is, right? As I went out of the water yesterday, you are gonna hold, these are 2 Plano 3700s, 2 Plano 2600s, a bag of tackle. There's loose tackle everywhere. And then you have your 6 rod holders, which are tied with your tethers. Now, the cool thing about this box is I can go ahead and get another short stack, a 13 by 16, install it on top, and then that will hold everything else. I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do in the near future. I also run a Panfish Pro for my GoPro. This is made by Jack Attack, and the cool thing about this one in particular is that actually you can go ahead, you can get it out and put it on any of your quick disconnects. This is gonna be awesome because sometimes you have to move your stuff around. And this is gonna allow me, or it's gonna give me that leverage. So that's why you're gonna see that I have a ton of quick disconnect mounts here. And I use them all the time because I wanna, you know, kind of move my things around while I'm on the water based on the wind, the sun direction, etc. So that's gonna be very useful. Now, another thing that I like about the new Canoe Unlimited is the fact that, again, you have so many track systems. I went ahead and installed I think these are the track packs, if I'm not mistaken, by Jack Attack. So this one is pretty cool. I will have, it has a tray system built in. So I have my jerk baits. I have some of the lures that I always use when I'm on the water. This is very cool. And it's installed on a tray. This tray will not go anywhere. If you wanted to install it back, all you gotta do is pop it in. You're good to go. Nothing will happen to it. By now, you're probably asking, what is powering my NK-180 Pro? Well, it's going to be a lead time battery. This is a 24 volt, 50 amp hour battery. Reason I picked it up is because it's a smaller frame battery. I think it's somewhere around 10 inches on height, which is great. It's gonna fit the boat very well, and I do have a cover for it. I'm just wanted to show you the battery itself, and it actually has Bluetooth capability. So this battery will, while on the water, will tell me how much battery life I have, which I think is critical. So if you're in the market for the battery, Lead Time does offer great prices. They are the customer service that they have, I think, which is the most important fact, or the most important thing from them, is that they are, very communicative. They will answer any questions quickly, and the prices are insane. So you can go ahead, go to leadtime.com. I do have a reference code or a partner code, so you can use it. This battery was given to me for free, so keep that in mind. With that being said, I will never promote something that I don't use. This battery is much better than the one that I had prior. So trust me, it's a very, very good investment. Folks, one of the most important upgrades you have to do regards safety. So I am using a VC pole from Jack Attack. This is actually required to run our trails. I'm pretty sure national trails will have the same rule where you have to have a flag or a visible flag. In this case, I am using the carbon fiber VC pole 2. It will go on the stern of my boat. It has a light on the top that runs by battery at night. Very simple, yet very effective and important to have. Now, I'm pretty sure this is what you guys have been waiting for, which is the EPS system. EPS systems retails for $450, the foot steering system. And let me tell you, this has changed everything, or my perception regarding Nucanoe and kayaks themselves. There's a couple of things I want to highlight about the product. So let's talk about how sturdy the product is. The materials used are high quality materials. So even the plastic here is very thick, very wide, so it's not gonna break. I've put this on my 2 trips already through a lot of stress, and it's holding perfectly, no issues. The other thing that I like about this system is that it actually will allow you to use your reverse on your NK-180 Pro without any issues. So what happens is there is a ball joint here that will allow you, or we will keep the motor on place unless you run it at the fastest speed, and that way you don't have to have your handles. You know that NK-180 Pro will give you 2 handles to kind of cleat your reverse. You're not gonna need that. It also will go up. The whole system includes your tray, your motor mount, and your controller mount, and it will include your tethering system. So it will allow you to retract your motor without any issues, which is great. Now, I think the biggest thing that people need to understand about this right here is the simplicity of the motor. Let's say I'm out of the water, I want to take out my motor. All I gotta do is disconnect my battery, push the pin, and I'm good to go. Disconnect it from the tethering system, we're good to go. That easy, super simple. So as we went through the kayak, I think the theme is very, very easy to read, right? It's simplicity yet effective. You're able to have everything you need here without having to take too much space or have all the wires, spread through the boat, being a hazard, etc. This is really the open canvas of the kayak world. It will allow you to build it as you want and add whatever you need. I've seen people say, well, the fact that you buy the hull itself and then you have to add, the items kind of sucks. Well, let me tell you, I understand that, and initially I thought the same, but I've realized that that's not the case. You buy the kayak and you outfit it as needed. So the hull itself is $1,800, which is a great entry point. Now, if you wanted to have what I have, which is your EPS system and your pod, which is what really matters, you're going to be somewhere around the $2,600, which is a very fair price for a kayak nowadays. You have a great warranty, you have great customer service. Nucanoe has been growing exponentially in the market, and they've made engineering strides that not many companies have done. I think they are in the forefront of the kayak scene. Obviously, we have great companies like Bonafide, Native, we have Hobie, Old Town. All of these are great companies, but I think Nucanoe has done things differently, and that's what sets them apart from the competition. With that being said, that's all for today. I hope you liked the kayak. Please feel free to leave your comments. Let me know what you think of the build. If there's anything that I missed, please let me know. I'll make the best to either record a video on it or answer you through social media. You're going to be able to reach me through Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. Urban Fishing TV. That's my handle. You're going to see it somewhere around here, or maybe here. So I appreciate your support. Please remember to subscribe, share, and like. That's going to help the channel grow exponentially throughout the year.